Something topical here, back with another video. And I'm Strange Wang. She's Stephanie. He's Nathan. And today we're doing top 5 letdowns, a idea from hers truly. And we have a giveaway like always. I'll let Nate explain that, along with the Zemeckis rule.
Yeah, so our digital download code giveaway today is going to be for Isle of Dogs. So to win this, go back and watch, I don't know, which top 5?
The last top 5, and tell us mine and Nate's both number ones.
Yeah, sure. So whoever comments what mine and his number ones were on the most recent top 5 we did before this one in the comments below, and is also subscribed to the channel, will win a free digital copy of Isle of Dogs. Also, if you could, down there, include like your Twitter or Instagram, some way that we can get in contact with you other than just on YouTube. Makes it a lot easier to get your code. If you don't know how we do our top 5s, basically, we'll do, whoever starts, we'll do their 5 and 4, talk about it, 5-4, 5-4.
Like a 3-man weave.
3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, and then we'll all trade off number ones. We also have what we call the Zemeckis rule. So, in reference to time travel and Back to the Future, if someone has the same movie as someone else on their list, but it's 2 spots or more higher, we will say Zemeckis rule, and that just means that person, we'll just talk about it when it gets to the person who has it higher on their list. Who's going first?
We'll let the ladies go first.
Cool.
Dylan.
Nice.
I used that joke last time.
But it was on me, so suck it.
I go first.
Okay.
I could have made a top 20 list of movies that let me
Amen.
down.
It was hard.
So it's like, trailers are the worst.
Right.
But my number 5 is going to be a film that came out last year. It's not a great film, but I was disappointed by it. It was my most look forward movie of the year. From the writer-director of the film Nightcrawler, we have Roman J. Israel Esquire. And it got really bad reviews, and then they re-edited the film, and nobody wanted to go see it. So that's disappointing.
Including me.
Yeah. But I would have took you $10. I would have took you $10 for it. But this is really disappointing because Nightcrawler was one of my favorite movies of that year.
It was a good movie.
I talk about Nightcrawler all the time. I obviously love it a little bit more than you do.
Yeah.
I bring it up all the time.
It's still a good movie.
Yeah, I love that movie. And Roman J. Esquire, Denzel kills it. It's a good role. The writing in the movie is very good. It could have been done better. It's just a story. The story isn't tight like Nightcrawler's was.
So it's a script issue.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's shot beautifully. Colin Farrell's really good in the film. And yeah, it's like they rushed to re-edit it. And then the story is not super tight already.
That'll kill it.
And it could have been a better movie. Like, if he wants to remake it, like they did Funny Games in 10 years, and make the exact same movie again, I'm okay with it.
Cool.
And then my number 4 is a movie that just didn't live up to expectations, because learning about film and having all these good films to go back to, because I'm so young, I watched A Clockwork Orange, which is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. 2001: A Space Odyssey. What a great movie. Like, the spectacles, what you see on the screen, everything is beautiful. Full Metal Jacket. What a great, like, how to move in with tones in that movie. And all The Shining, great horror movie.
What's your number 4?
It all led up to Eyes Wide Shut, his last movie.
Oh, okay.
And it did not live up to the expectations of those films.
Gotcha. You said, like, those movies, and I'm like, that disappointed you?
Well, I had to get to the point.
I get it.
I had to get,
no, that's a fair, I gotcha.
I had to get a second before I get to home.
Yeah.
But, it just didn't live up to it. It was about, like, the only thing I knew about the movie was about Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, and a sex cult. And I was
Which should have been.
Yeah. I was
the
in.
making for a fantastic film.
I was in. Like I said, his Kurosawa's movie's a little bit older at this time, so I don't know if he didn't put the effort he did into the other films as he did this one.
Who's to say?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish it was a better movie. I can't really pinpoint what I dislike about the movie and what let it down the most. I just wanted more from the movie. That's why it's a letdown.
Fair.
So I guess we go clockwise and go to you.
Well, that would be counterclockwise, but we can do that anyways. So number 5 for me is Batman versus Superman.
Zemeckis.
Okay, I thought so. All right, so number 4 for me is going to be Iron Man 3. No? Gotcha.
To be fair, when I made my list of all the movies that disappointed me, half of them was comic book movies.
Yeah, those were the only 2. So from this point on, there will be no more comic book movies.
I give that 2 also
on my list. So yeah, Iron Man 3, that one specifically. There's lots of MCU movies that I wish were better than they were. Lots of superhero movies I wish were better than they were. But that one, Iron Man's my favorite. I love him. We used to work together. We all gave each other Avengers nicknames. I was Tony Stark. Our personalities just kind of fit for where I was at that point in time in life.
A douche for a douche.
I'm a lot nicer now, sort of. So it's just early one of those movies would be really, really good. And Iron Man 3 was definitely an improvement on the second one. Not that was too hard to do, but it it's the ending. Just it was just too much. I feel
it was too Shane Black.
Yeah, and
it's a good Shane Black movie, not a good Iron Man movie.
I didn't hate the Mandarin twist. I just hated that the other guy wasn't really if they had kept the twist the same, but then made the actual bad guy still the Mandarin and stuff like that, then it would have been fine. I wouldn't have had a problem with the twist. Seeing all the Iron Man suits flying is cool. I don't really like the ending because it's oh, I'm not going to be Iron Man anymore. He's still Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. So my only problem with that is I thought it was different from the other 2 Iron Mans we got. I enjoyed it, the twist. I didn't like the I think it was Arnie Hammer, the actor who played the Mandarin, but wasn't the comic book core Mandarin, but he still went by Mandarin.
Right.
I don't really like him as an actor too much in that film. His performance isn't too good.
I don't disagree.
Pepper Potts. The whole thing with her at the end, and she's blowing fire and all that.
Yeah, her giving her superpowers. I didn't like that
was
either.
Stupid.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. So, what's your number 5?
My number 5. So part of me, whenever I was making this list, was more disappointed in myself because I was actually looking forward to these films to begin with. But my number 5 was Hairspray.
Okay.
The John Travolta Hairspray.
Yeah, that's all yours. Go for it.
Yeah. I figured neither of you guys would have,
Well, I've seen Hairspray. I just didn't have expectations for it.
And that's part of why I'm disappointed in myself. Yeah, I just thought it was literally horrible start to finish. The show and as a whole can be really, really well done. John Travolta was awful in it. There was just a lot of me hating everything about it.
He plays a woman, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's traditionally how it's done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it just felt really weird, and it felt like they just brought a lot of really big names in. This will make it really good, right? And then nobody worked together.
Christopher Walken. I can just picture a young Stephanie in 2005. Mom, can we listen to My Chemical Romance before we go to see Hairspray? That's all I'm picturing in my head.
I can't really argue with anything you just said.
That's
so
funny.
It's fine. It's fine. My number 4 is the new Pride and Prejudice. I say
the
new.
one with Keira Knightley?
Yeah. I love the original Pride and Prejudice. I still watch it on the
3-hour long one
VHS tapes that I have of it.
It's longer than 3 hours. It's really
it's
long.
7 hours long. Mm-hmm. It's so good and it's so well done and it's beautiful and it's true to the book.
Yeah,
and I love it.
book.
Yes, it's literally scripted from the book. Amazing. Mm-hmm. The new one, I love the filming in it. The score is phenomenal, and the story just completely just fell apart. So,
what's your number 3?
Number 3.
Strangest of Wings.
Again, another story time with the Wang. So, young kid, loved Predator. Adored Predator. One of my favorite action movies. Favorite movies as a young child. Basically, my dad did not own the VHS of Predator 2. So, we're out at the flea market. We're hustling. We're going through. He's asking people what the price is. He's coming back to me. Say you want this. Here's all the money you have. And go buy it for this much. And we're getting cheap prices. We're getting cheap VHSs and DVDs and stuff. I see Predator 2. And I'm dude, we gotta get this thing. It's gonna be fucking great. Danny Glover, Lethal Weapon. Some of my favorite movies also as a young child. I get this son of a bitch. I go home. I put it right in the VHS player. And this Predator's telling Danny Glover fuck off. This is terrible. There's only one good scene in the fucking movie, and that's the very end. They're yo, you killed the Predator. Here's a gun from some pirate or something. Here, Chris Columbus's gun, dog. Yeah.
Christopher Columbus. Here's
he
Captain Jack Sparrow's gun.
Here's a gun. We're good. We gonna leave you alone. We're not gonna kill you. Predator's out. And then they do the little Wakanda thing, and they go back in where they're from.
Stop making
Like, you got the Predator in the city, which should be a cool idea. He's killing fucking Cuban pimps in the beginning of the movie. Predator is, and then it's kind of sci-fi, and it doesn't match the world that the first Predator set. It's like, this is some weird RoboCop world. That's stupid. Danny Glover, he's phoning it in. Gary Busey, I don't know what the fuck
Gary
that dude.
Busey?
I don't know what the fuck that guy's doing in the movie. That guy.
What is he doing in any movie?
He's like the cop. He's like, not his partner, but he's just there. He's doing cop shit. It's stupid.
Yeah.
My number 2 is the Zemeckis from earlier, Batman vs. Superman.
Okay. Go ahead.
He puts a Jolly Rancher in a fucking guy's mouth.
Yeah, he like literally just like slips a Jolly Rancher into his
Dude, don't do that shit. Jesse Eisenberg, terrible Lex Luthor. You have a good... I like the Superman story. How he feels he doesn't belong. He can't live up to expectations. Mm-hmm. He's saving all that montage where he's saving all these people and like the Mexican things, like something happened there.
That's a cool
and all
scene.
The kids.
That's a good scene.
You have a great story with that, and then you just throw all this other bullshit in there.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be there.
There's just too much in that movie.
Because
they tried
Superman,
to pack way too much in it.
Superman, yes, he's unbeatable. Except for later on in the movie when Batman beats his ass. Shouts out Justin McCormick. But emotionally, he has a weakness. He's human like us.
Yeah.
He feels like we do. And I like that side of Superman. We never saw that in the Christopher Reeves Superman.
Sure.
We're getting into this one. And then we have my favorite Batman, honestly.
Bruce your favorite Wayne. Batman or your favorite Bruce Wayne?
My favorite Batman and Bruce Wayne together. He's the best Batman-Bruce Wayne combination we've got so far, I thought. I like the action in it. What little action scenes we did get, even though...
Oh, man. That one scene.
Yeah. You watched a 2.5 hour movie for a fight scene. Yeah. But even the action with Wonder Woman and Doomsday and Batman and Superman, even though that shouldn't be in the movie at all, right. And what led up to that fight scene's still pretty good.
The Doomsday fight scene? Yeah.
Zack Snyder's a shit director. And you got too many people. You got too much in one movie. Less is more.
Yeah.
That's what somebody's told this guy.
Yeah.
This is Hollywood. There's too many. Oh, he's a white director, so we just have him make some movies. And that's what Zack Snyder is.
Yeah.
He's a fucking jerk off. Fuck that guy.
Wow.
Ruined the best comic book story of all time. The best comic book movie. That's why I hate comic book movies, honestly. This movie
because of Batman vs.
Ruined all
Superman.
of them.
Wow.
For me, yes.
That's fair. I know how much
you wait
Batman
fucking 2 years for a movie, and it's...
Well, like, I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong. I think Batman and Spider-Man are your two favorite superheroes.
If you want to be technical, it's Ninja Turtles, but we're talking about singulars.
Sure. So, Spider-Man, but it's like, yeah, so they ruined Batman versus Superman, and you've had 3 different Spider-Men.
Yeah.
So,
like, after, like before this, I got a shitty Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And then a shitty Ninja Turtles movie. That was a bad year for me.
And then you got Ned.
Huh?
And then you got Ned.
Yeah, fuck Ned.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add. I'm just going to let you hang on to that one. What's your number 2?
That was my number 2.
Oh, sorry.
Predator's number 3.
Cool.
It's your turn.
So my number 3, this is where it's going to start to get a little controversial on my list. Not controversial, just like these are good movies. So number 3 is going to be Lady Bird. But that is why. So like, all right, before I saw that movie, here's like I just heard 1,000 wonderful things about that movie
from the two of us.
First, like this is all gonna be my Hairspray.
All right.
Hang on. All right. So, anyways, the reason that Lady Bird is on my disappointing list is because it was just like my expectations for it. So like everyone is like, oh, this is definitely like one of the best pictures of the year.
I'm tearing up thinking about it.
Like all the acting is great, blah blah blah, and it is. Like it's an extremely well written script. It's extremely well shot for a movie that's like pretty much a zero action like character study. So there's nothing wrong with the movie. I was just expecting to go in and be like super emotionally moved and stuff like that. And the fact is that I'm a 28-year-old white dude.
And I don't know if you haven't been a 16-year-old girl with a hard relationship with your mom, if you would have that emotional.
She's not 16.
If you haven't had a relationship with your teenage.
I think that's coming from a little more personal experience than from Lady Bird.
What?
Yeah, and that's what it was. So like, I'm not knocking Lady Bird. It was an excellent movie, and it probably deserved all the nominations that it got at the Academy and stuff. But like, the expectations I had, I just thought that I was going to like have a little more.
So was it like your response to it was different than you were expecting, or the film itself was different?
So
or
like
what was...
movies make me emotional. Like if a movie, like I will cry at a movie, and that's pretty much one of the only things on this planet that can make me cry is like a good book or a good movie.
Except for the book part.
For you. So it's just like I thought that was going to be something that I went in and like had one of those like big emotional
cathartic.
Yeah.
And, like,
so like I saw it in theaters, and I was like, I went like a matinee. I was like the only one in the theater, so it's like
prime crying.
There's nothing going to be held back, and I was just like, oh, that was really good, and I could 100% see like why this is a really important movie to some people, but like it just didn't hit me. And then I watched it again, thinking maybe I was just in a weird mood the first time I watched it, and it just didn't do it for me. I still love the movie. It just like I was expecting more out of it, so it's on. I was expecting a lot more out of it, which is why it's on my.
I think me and her got lucky because it was way before, like the whole Rotten Tomatoes stuff blew up. We watched it at a indie theater, local, and that was before it was even in the main theater.
Poor Dylan had to sit through, me just like weeping the entire time, and he was just like, "What is happening to this girl?"
That's funny.
She ended up seeing going it twice, and she ditched on me and Brian the second time.
Because I went and saw it with my mom.
Well,
again.
That's probably really important.
It was a good movie, though.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so love the movie. It was my fault that it's on this list, but it is on the list.
Fair.
Number 2 for me is gonna be, and I just like I don't want to fucking just you shut up and you let me talk. Because there's a Star Wars movie on my list.
As there should be.
Boy!
So, number 2 is going to be The Force Awakens. And it's literally kind of the same reason.
Which one was that?
The first of the new ones.
Yes.
So, J.J. Abrams' first Star Wars movie. So, to be clear, I love this movie, and I think that movie is still better than every other Rocky movie.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's my house, and I won't.
It's not your house, you rent.
So, it's more mine than yours.
Boys.
But it's just like, okay, this is the 21st century, like, we
waited around the block for this movie. Tickets ahead of time.
So, as much of a fandom as Star Wars has, as much, technology as we have now, the writing teams that you can bring on and all this kind of stuff.
Literally the world at their fingertips.
Yeah, the movie is A New Hope. With different characters set a little bit in the future. And there are lots of things that I love about that. I love the parallels in that. So, I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
There's some sweet moments.
It just wasn't what I wanted something super fresh. I wanted something super new. It had been a while since we had the prequels. We had some good cartoon shows in the Clone Wars and stuff like that. So it was just I just wanted a little more out of it. But it's still a great movie. Still better than all the Rocky movies. It's still Star Wars. So I love it. I love it dearly. It just wasn't quite what I wanted. So, what's your number 3?
Okay, so it's 2, but it's going to count as 1 because it should have been 1.
Okay.
Deathly Hallows 1 and 2. Harry Potter.
Fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, it should have been 1 movie, and that's part of the reason why this is on my list.
But it's really part 1.
Right.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes. I had just so many. I love the Harry Potter books. I love Harry Potter movies are probably the only movies I haven't been consistently disappointed in a book being done into a movie. Mm-hmm. I thought that through them having so many different directors and stuff, they've actually done a really good job of being so consistent, and I love the movies. And The Hallows is when the story really comes together. It's the first time that Harry's taken his grief with his parents, and he's experiencing it in all these different areas because, spoiler, everybody dies. And he's experiencing all these different things. It's when Ron and Hermione's relationship really takes off, and all this stuff is kicking into full gear. And honestly, I've never been so bored. I know these books word for word, and I was where is the heart in these movies? And it really just felt like they half-assed those movies, and I was so disappointed.
Fair.
Yeah.
I think they could have gone 2 different ways to make it better. They either could have just done it the way they did it, but kind of just got through what they did in part 1 faster. Mm-hmm. Or they could have actually taken the time to
really do it well.
Because my not that it was bad, it was just it wasn't as much of a connecting sort of thing as it could have been.
My thing is if you're watching these movies and you haven't read the books and you're not really super interested, you're not going to be able the Horcruxes are a huge deal, mm-hmm. and they're not really explained super well. And
That's true.
I had to go back to the books to register, and right now you can't. It was just so disappointing.
So since I'm a director now, I both is check out a short film in the biz. Means business. In the biz, we call that a cash grab. And get your money.
Oh, to split a movie into 2 parts that didn't really need to be split into 2 parts.
So they all blend into me.
Basically, every young adult novel series that has been turned into movies, they do that.
Yeah, Twilight, Breaking Dawn, 3 and 4.
Hunger Games.
Yeah. It's true.
Yep. Number 2?
Number 2, don't laugh at me. Hear me out. Okay. 50 Shades of Grey.
That's your number 2?
Is my number 2. I was extremely disappointing.
What were you expecting?
A lot more.
A
lot more what?
No, okay, so I'm going to explain this. This is why I was very unsure about putting this on the list. Okay.
because you're doing this with me and Dylan?
Yeah. All right, here's the thing with 50 Shades of Grey. I don't particularly love the books. Mm-hmm. For fan fiction, they're whatever. But I think that it's bringing visibility to a lot of people's lifestyles, and I think that's important. And what I really love that the books did is it brought about a really good debate about the kink lifestyle and sexuality in general and consent and all these different things. And in the books, you really get to see a lot of Christian's trauma. He has extensive trauma in his childhood, and you get to see Anna's decision-making process, and she has this constant inner monologue about is this right, is this wrong, what do I want, what's going on. Stop laughing, this is important. The movie did not why am I here? The movie did not do a good job about facilitating the important topics that could have been discussed.
That the books discuss.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was really disappointed in, they made Christian into more of, this bad boy or a little bit brooding.
I'm damaged, I need saving.
Right. Versus, hey, there's this guy and, this is his sexual, lifestyle, and that's fine. But then, there's also these other aspects to it. And, hey, this is Anna, and she's never been involved in this before. And, what does that consent look like? And instead, I think it led to the conversation being more polarized instead of more of a discussion. And so that was what was really disappointing to me about that, because they left out a lot of the features in the book that would have allowed that to happen.
Cool. Do you think that they made the movies more that way because the majority of people don't care about that part and only care about how sexually shocking it was?
Yeah, but even for it being, it's significantly toned down from the books, sexually.
I'll take your word for it.
So, even that, they could have, played that up significantly more.
Sure.
Go watch Book Club. A bunch of old ladies. Mm-hmm. Jane Fonda.
Oh, where they read.
Yeah.
It's what they're reading for this.
It's not a great movie, but it's pretty fun. I enjoyed it.
All right.
Cheese scone.
Come on, Dylan.
Where's the little dicky motherfucker?
What's disappointed you more than any other movie?
Life. Oh. But I'm just kidding. So back to another comic book movie involving Batman. You have Heath Ledger's The Joker that delivered, and there's so much, and unfortunately he passed away. So now we know there's so much Bat universe out there we can dig into, and it's gonna be fresh. And we got a fresh Bane because that footage leaked of the plane scene 3 or 4 months ahead of time. So everyone's pumped for this movie. And then you get halfway into the movie, and it's man, he breaks the Bat's back. Where's this going? Right the fucking hell.
So The Dark Knight Rises is your number one.
Thanks.
Since
Yes.
you're not going to say the name of
Yes.
the movie, apparently.
Yes.
Okay.
How do you get all your policemen to go underground?
That is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
That would never happen.
You give me this real... That's why I kind of... It goes the second, first, third one for me. In like the order, the best to worst. Because like the whole Scarecrow
That's the correct order.
thing is a little whimsical. Like it's a little out there.
Yeah.
But taking all your cops and putting them underground and leaving them, that's stupid.
Like, unrealistic things in a comic book movie, fine. But that's just, like, too... like, that's stupid.
The craziest thing that should have happened in that movie is the football field blowing up.
Yes.
With that Pittsburgh player, he gets the touchdown, he's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
That should have been the most over-the-top thing in that movie.
Right, agreed.
Instead, we got a stupid bomb. We got Bang dicking down Ra's al Ghul's daughter.
It felt like it was like trying to outdo itself for a while.
And then like he climbs out of this hole, and that's stupid. He like breaks his backpack. That movie's stupid. Bottom line.
That movie exhibits some real LB.
LB to the max.
That's loser behavior.
Wow. I was like, what's LB?
You live it every day.
Oh my god. He's so salty about that movie, he's projecting on you now.
Yeah,
projecting everywhere. Call me Christian Grey. Nate, you're number one.
Alright, you ready? You ready for this?
Yeah.
This is going to be probably the most controversial one on the list. So my number one most disappointing movie, Back to the Future.
We talked about this before.
We've talked about this before.
There you go.
All right, so
explain yourself.
I saw this movie for the first time, like sat down and watched it for the first time, like 2 months ago maybe.
Oh, so you've spent your whole life hearing.
And I've spent my entire life. Oh, Back to the Future, top 50 best movies of all time.
Yeah.
Like this, and that. Like, you know, just on and on about how great Back to the Future was, right? So, like, I like movies from that era. Big Ferris Bueller fan, even though I do think he is a psychopath. We could talk about that. That'd be fun.
That'd be a fun conversation.
So I love Ferris Bueller because Ferris Bueller is this like idiot kid doing a bunch of stupid stuff, but he's smart. Mm-hmm. And like
witty as hell.
I think like maybe this is just expectation again. I went into Back to the Future like expecting crazy wacky Doc Brown, crazy like just adventure like borderline Spielberg because Zemeckis is Spielberg light. But like Marty is just so dumb. Like,
and there's like
so
a difference between being like simple, and like legitimately
he's
stupid.
just like, and I get that like at that point in time this was like such a normal thing, but he is just like the most stereotypical like dumb high school boy ever,
like all boy,
and it just drives me insane. Like you were hanging out with like this brilliant mind that invented a time machine, and the shit that you get yourself into is just like, I don't know. I wanted a good, smart, relatable, like, I can identify with you.
Like me in high school.
Character. Which, like, I'm not saying that I was, like, this cultured, like, smart genius. Like, you know, I'm not expecting him to be a genius by any means, but it's just like, this is what it is. He has no depth to him. Like, he doesn't really, like, the story has arcs, but he doesn't have a personal arc. Like, I don't feel like Marty McFly is any different of a person at the beginning of that, at the end of that movie than he was at the beginning.
Like, he changes externally in ways, but internally, like, there's no...
Like, I don't think he learned anything other than, don't bang my mom. And that's it. And, like, and it's like, he just leaves his girl there. Like, what happened to her the whole movie, you know? Like, so, I don't know. That movie, I'm not saying it's bad. And it was fun, but like, it honestly was a little annoying, and I didn't. The second one is better, but like,
two things.
Yeah,
you should have started this conversation off, and my number one picks will be controversial, yada yada yada, and we're in for some serious shit. Number two, do you think it is one of the top 50 greatest movies of all time?
No, I don't.
Okay,
your turn.
There you go. All right, my number one most disappointed movie. The theater kid in me is showing, but it was Les Mis. Came out.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway.
Mm-hmm. Russell
Me and her
Crowe.
talked about this like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
a month ago.
It was very recent.
Wolverine's in that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
My future baby mama's in there too.
Hugh Jackman?
No, Helena Bonham Carter.
You dirty boy.
She was. I love her. Always.
she's
Always
great.
love her. So super excited. The hype was huge. They're live singing. Like, this is a big deal. First film to do it. Amazing. It's gonna be great. The cast, like, they set it up for success.
And then it wasn't.
Yeah. And to be fair, it came out the week I turned 21, and so I went and saw it, and I was...
Probably hungover.
Oh, no, I was a little drunk. And so I went and saw it again, expecting the reason I didn't like it to be the
Your
intoxication.
Oh.
And then... and I didn't like it even more, and each time I watch it, I dislike it more and more and more, and then I, like, can't stop watching it. Like...
Do you dislike it as, like it's a bad adaptation, or like is it the cast,
Okay.
the singing, what?
So, Anne Hathaway was phenomenal. She carried the movie.
Usually is.
Hands down. Absolutely freaking amazing. Hugh was huge letdown.
Huh.
Like, huge letdown.
That
Good
sucks.
one,
He
bud.
does, like, he's done Broadway. I think that's
Yeah,
Broadway.
and that was one of the... I think that was probably why there was such a huge letdown, as far as, like... If you can freaking do this 8 shows a week, you should be able to do this with 50 takes.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Russell Crowe, I wanted to ground him for making movies. I have never been so disappointed in a single person's portrayal. I don't know how somebody can walk around with a French accent and then sing and sound like a country singer out of tune at the same freaking time. His suicide scene was a disgrace. It was one of the...
That's funny.
I don't... And I knew going into it, I prepared a little bit. Like, I've seen the show in London. I saw it with an almost all French cast. So I knew. I was like, this is not going to be at that level. Like, I knew that.
Yeah.
But it was so... I was like, this is such a hot mess. And it could have been so good. And it really was the leads. All the supporting characters I felt were, like, phenomenal. And, like, Samantha Barks. Samantha
B.
was amazing. I loved her. Anne Hathaway, like I said, was phenomenal.
Sacha Baron
But-
Cohen.
Yes.
Borat.
He was funny as hell, yeah. But yeah, as a whole, I was so disappointed. And now it's sort of like this weird obsession. Like, I love to watch it just to get pissed off again.
Yeah. Wow. Solid list.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Zack Schneider's the worst human being on the planet.
Russell Crowe needs to get out of here.
And Russell Crowe is grounded.
Funny enough, both our number ones both have Anne Hathaway in them. And then our
But
two...
she was the redeeming factor in mine.
What's your number 2?
Force Awakens.
I don't know. One of our movies... All of our movies had one of the same actors in them. Helena Bonham Carter was in one. I don't know. This is Cinematopical. Subscribe for more content. Bitches.
I just got like mad again thinking about him.
Helena Bonham Carter plays Bellatrix Lestrange.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, yep.
And
I was her last night.
Yeah.
Bellatrix Lestrange Wang.
Yes. Most definitely.
Did you already cut it off?